My portion of this presentation is specifically about learning and development. Just kind of give you a little background. I'm sure some of you had met me previously when I was working for a management consulting firm, and a big reason why I kind of jumped ship to work with IML is just because of the value I saw in a lot of the technology they could bring within the learning and development space in terms of engagement, in terms of interaction, in terms of being able to bring metrics and analytics to the table and showing whomever you have to answer to, this is exactly what happened throughout the course of our event, our training, our meeting, and these are the metrics that go along with it. I think it really helps bolster whatever programs you're putting together, and it helps kind of create more leeway in terms of designing programs going forward. So I wanted to touch on a few facts about mobile learning as it relates to the corporate world. So as you see here, by 2015, 80% of the people accessing the internet will be doing so from a mobile device. That's over 5.6 billion people in this world will be using the internet as the primary source for their internet is coming from their mobile phone. So as an organization, I'd think you'd have to consider, what am I doing to reach out to my colleagues, reach out to my potential clients, prospects in such a way that's a big part of their life. 39% of corporations have already instilled some sort of mobile learning strategy with expected growth rate of 30%, nearly 30%. So obviously your competition is doing this, and they see the value in bringing mobile learning to the forefront of a lot of their L&D programs. So again, what are you doing to ensure that you're staying ahead of the curve? Mobile learning currently is a $9.1 billion business. Well, by 2015. So, the growth rate has been exponential over the years, and I think, in terms of seeing that the strategy is in place, obviously there's investment going on. 32% of global employees rely on more than one mobile device. Just quick show of hands. How many of you use more than two or more mobile devices on a regular basis? There you go. The stats speak for themselves. So, 78% of our smartphone users access work on their email device. I'm still living here in the Stone Age with my BlackBerry, but obviously I'd be lost without it if I wasn't able to get to my clients, if I didn't have that kind of accessibility to and working with my colleagues. I would definitely lose business, and I know that's a fact. 65% of mobile workers are already using a tablet. I think that's a big reason why we wanted to show you how people are incorporating tablets already in their normal business. And then it says 88% of people say they use their tablets in transition. So I think this really speaks volumes in regards to the point Julie made earlier. Being able to access pre-event or pre-training surveys, being able to access information in regards to my role, whether it's on the plane, whether it's on the train, wherever you are. These devices are with people, so how can we reach out and touch them? How can we make whatever my role or responsibility is an easier way to incorporate into the lives of the people I'm working with? If you look, probably it's a little bit easier to see this on your tablet, but I think that in general, especially for our learning development folks, these are pretty standard types of learning environment. You have your in the top left, we're looking at your classroom learning environment, your instructor, trainer-led learning and development type of programs. What are you doing to engage them? I think a lot of the tools you're seeing here, being able to share messages, being able to vote, poll, those sort of things, it can definitely help in creating some engagement and interaction. In terms of the technological learning environment, this is, when you're not together, when you're not able to bring people in the same space, with e-learning or mobile learning or some of this remote learning, we have to find new ways to reach out to people, connect with them, and make our jobs feel more infused together. With what you're seeing here, being able to continually update information, be able to continually assess reporting, assess information coming in from your colleagues and from the people you're working with, be able to make better decisions going forward in a much faster and more efficient time. And then finally, which I think is probably what most organizations are supporting now, is this blended learning approach where probably the amount of times people are getting together is a lot less. Perhaps for some of your leadership meetings, your sales meetings, that still has to happen. People need to have that type of interaction. But also there's the mobile part of it and the e-learning part of it. So the whole point of this slide is really to show you that IML Solutions powered by Lumi allows you to take kind of a 360 approach in engaging and measuring your learning programs from start to finish, from conception to completion. So in terms of the types of levels of technology used within training, this information comes from McGraw-Hill Learning Development coursework. So they touch on 6 different items down here. Obviously we have the ability to communicate with these tools. We have the ability to communicate just talking with each other. There's lots of ways of doing that. Online referencing, being able to use these sort of devices to seek out some of the videos, seek out some of the presentations, to assimilate that information, take notes on it. All of these programs that you're seeing, especially when you get into the next session with my colleague Susan, you have the ability to take notes, you have the ability to message, you have the ability to essentially have the minutes of the meeting in real time. So this is all helpful, visual, audio, all those ways that you can engage people. It's just going to create higher levels of retention and assimilation. In terms of our reporting, it's generally Excel-based, Word-based information that's the output. So in terms of plugging into your learning management system or whatever type of system you're using to keep track of the data, we can very much kind of plug into what you're already doing. A big part of our business is to be as flexible as possible. Last year alone, IML supported over 2,500 events with over 500,000 people. So if we didn't have that ability to be flexible, there's no way we'd be able to work with such a diversity of clients. So just to kind of highlight a few of the points in terms of learning and development benefits, obviously we think we can create a much higher level of learning and participation, really help realize behavioral changes, creating knowledge assimilation by being able to reach out and touch people in several different modes. A lot of this work you can, also include some peer-to-peer learning in terms of, being able to share some information in real time, create discussions around those types of groups that you're having, whether that be in an event or whether that's over the course of a week and people are working remotely. All of these tools support that type of learning. Obviously it provides a forum for networking opportunities, and some of the information that we'd be able to load on here is contact information, and we could make the business card obsolete if that's what you'd prefer, and be able to way to connect people very easily. Being able to support data evaluations of sessions and facilitators to drive continuous improvement, whether you're trying to understand where their knowledge or understanding is prior to a learning development program, what types of objectives you're trying to achieve within that program, and where they are afterwards. The solutions that you're seeing in front of you are able to support that from start to finish. And obviously, from there you're looking at what you are trying to do going forward. So, in terms of some of the metrics and analytics, we're really able to look at the trends and the gaps that are present and help you make better decisions going forward. Basically our process, discover, that's the pre-work for us is the most important part. What does success look like? What are the objectives you're trying to achieve? And how can we get there? Assuming that we work well together beforehand and we have some time to really understand what direction your organization is trying to go, then we put the solution in place, and the insight is everything that comes out of it. We can literally capture every single piece of data that each participant shares throughout the course of any event, any type of program in real time. I would be surprised if any other organization from a technology standpoint could make that claim. So we're going to be doing a quick knowledge check. We want to kind of see how well people have been paying attention a little bit. So there's going to be a quick 5-question evaluation or survey popping up on your device here. But some of those things I want you to keep in mind, some of the questions I want you to keep in mind. What are you doing to keep your participants engaged? Have they been paying attention? Is the material you're sharing clear? Can real-time reviews reveal areas of improvement? And is this material relevant to a participant's responsibility? So basically, we just want you to kind of go over those 5 questions and get an understanding and really try to mirror what an L&D program would look like.